My welcomer back to Elena's Beauty Talk. And we're just in here chatting away. Actually, I forgot. We are doing an extended half an hour because I have my very good friend who I haven't seen in a long time. She was a regular on my show for many years, Cassandra Darden. We started having her summer camp, Glee summer camp kids come on my show when I first started my radio show here. And for about 3 years, every summer, Glee summer camp kids would come on. And when it ended, I was like, oh, it's over. So she and Richard started Kids Talk Live. And that ran for a while. Then she got really busy doing a million other things, expanding her studio. So now they're coming back to LA Talk Live. So we're here. She is here to talk about, because I'm not even sure of the schedule, when they're starting. And I know they're coming a couple times a month. Yeah. And I wouldn't recognize any of them. So, welcome, Cassandra.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you guys, Kids Talk Live is coming back.
I am so excited, too. It's been, Richard and I have worked really hard to try to schedule this.
I know.
And it's taken months. You can see we haven't been back for a while. But we finally have a time lockdown. We're going to be back on Saturdays at 1 o'clock. And we are going to be probably 1 or 2 times a month during the summer. And then we're going to come back hopefully every Saturday at 1 p.m.
That's a big commitment from you.
Yeah, it is. It is. But, this is a really important show. This is an important venue for the kids. And, I can't, this is what my livelihood is about, and over those years that we have, met and had kids come on the show, I just sort of fell into starting my performing arts school because I really never intended to do that. I had the Children's Theater Company and I had my dance company, but starting a school was just more work, of course. And then once I fell into the camp, I just realized how much, this kind of effort with children really changes lives. I mean, they
changed
really,
your life.
It changed my life. They just became my life, and having the couple years with them and seeing them go forward in their next venture. I have several students that went on to college, and I had one student run out of the school and she jumped in the driver's seat of the car and I started crying and she goes, "Oh my God, Miss Cassandra." And I said, I've known her since she's 6 years old and now she's 16 and she's driving a car. I mean, that is crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy and it's amazing and, wonderful. And now she's off to college and, she emails me and still talks about all of her time at Darden Performing Arts and, Glee Summer Camp. And she wants to come back and be an intern and help this summer. And, they kind of can't get away, which is a good thing.
It is a really good thing. Yeah, your kids get very attached to you.
I know. I don't know what that is.
Because you're amazing. Richard, you just pulled out the mic.
I did indeed. I wanted to be on the mic with you today to welcome Cassandra and Kids Talk Live back.
Yay.
Oh, this is such an honor to have you come on the mic. I love it. I love it when you come on.
Thank you. I appreciate when you allow me on. And I wanted to talk to Cassandra just a little bit. There's a lot going on. You've got, first of all, let's put it out there, April 4th. That's this Saturday.
Yes.
At noon, the return of Kids Talk Live with Cassandra Darden and a whole new lineup of young people. So that's very important to get out there. This Saturday, the April 4th, noon Pacific time. So mark your calendars.
Is it
for that.
noon or 1?
I know.
You said 1.
Is it 1?
Yes.
Okay, so we're doing 1.
1 p.m.
Okay, guys.
Let's explain. Okay. We originally talked about her coming back at noon.
Okay.
But Cassandra's got a crazy schedule, and so we decided that 1 o'clock would be a better time slot for her to give her the time to get out here. When she comes, it's a major production because you've got all these young people.
Yeah.
And she brings mics and mic stands and all of this kind of fun stuff and sometimes instruments. So we wanted to give her some more time. So you're right. Mark your calendars, April 4th at 1 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for the correction. 1 p.m. Pacific, the return of Kids Talk Live.
That's this Saturday.
Don't miss it. I wanted to talk to you about your passion in bringing back Kids Talk Live? Because you mentioned early on that you and I had worked quite a long time and quite hard in getting this show rescheduled on our network. Why? From your heart of hearts.
From my heart of hearts, the kids really missed it, first of all. I mean,
Okay.
that's just
I like
the
that.
truth. They were like, when are we going back? Kids Talk Live, and it really kept coming up. And there were so many things that we consistently do. And this is such an important avenue for them because they get to talk. When we're at the performing arts school, they're learning. They're learning how to be artists. They're learning lines for their acting, scenes. They're learning choreography for dance. They're learning music to perform in our live shows or whatever else we're doing. But when they come here, it's different. They get to actually be themselves and talk about who they are and really talk about why they do this and how it's affected their life and what makes them different. And, it's kind of a part of their spirit and their energy that I feel really lucky that I actually get to see because it makes me a mama of sorts. There's moments that I get to see and I think, God, I hope their parents get to see this moment that I'm having right now when I'm, they're going across the floor and they couldn't do a leap for 3 months and they finally get it. And I have a talking moment with them about that. And I say, how do you feel? Oh my goodness. And that's what is so amazing about being a kid. It's that fresh, honest, raw stuff, that comes out, and they need a voice and they need to be able to talk about their experience. We're big people. We're thinking about our mortgage and traffic, and they're thinking about, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, this happened to me, or oh my goodness, my teacher doesn't understand how much stress this is causing me, to have to learn all this stuff in such a short amount of time. And they have such a fuller life when they get to actually talk about kid stuff.
It's very interesting. I never get that because, Elena and I sit here when you would bring the kids on your show on the verge of tears, and in my case, completely tearful. So I didn't grasp that part of the experience on their side. But that's very interesting to hear that this for them is perhaps their one of those turning moments in their career where one of the earliest interviews as a professional actor or performer might have taken place. All this has been recorded. We have all these recorded
Yes.
interviews with these young people, some of whom have graduated on to a professional career in acting and performing.
Yeah.
But I never really thought about that one moment when they get to speak their own minds. Kids Talk Live is a show about kids, for kids, and by kids. You'll be moderating. Mm-hmm. I'll be helping out on the board along with Van Eric Marshall. There's so many people working with young people nowadays that we're going to link into that show. We recently connected you with Chef Bryce Fluelin.
Oh, did you get
who's going to be connecting up with Elena next week on her show.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to him.
Yeah.
I actually have I have a phone meeting with him tonight at 6:00. So
Tell him to confirm my show. I've been trying to reach him.
I will.
He's going out of town for Easter, but I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll be
Yeah,
back.
because
Okay, maybe that's why he
Yeah.
hasn't returned.
No,
my
it
call.
isn't. Actually, he has a return email that says I'll be out of the office.
Okay.
So it was hard for me to catch him too. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited to have him
He's
on the show.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Richard, you've said some amazing things about him. And this is some of the things that we also cover. And I've recently been talking more about with my students, especially the dancers, about nutrition, because the truth is that, it's a hard thing. I mean, I really get parents, it's some subjects are very sensitive, and I like to let the kids have their voice and really tell me how they feel about it instead of being a dictator. And one of the things I have to be honest with my older students about that are now going to be going on to college or auditioning, for dance programs and things like that is their diet and what they're eating and what they're not eating. And, because the bottom line is that I love their hearts, but we are in an entertainment industry that is very honest about brutally honest and not always right about what they physically say.
Body image and stuff like that.
Yes. And so, of course, I'm teaching them to love who they are and really come from the inside, because that does go a long way. But, you need to be tough, and you also need to be realistic about how are you treating your body. So I'm really excited to meet Chef Bryce and have him on the show to talk about these things. And I've seen a lot of changes in the girls. And as we continue with Kids Talk Live, I'm going to have them talk about it from their point of view. I mean,
because there's nothing better than having a kid talk about how they feel, kids to kids or kids to their moms, because it's coming from their hearts.
Yes, and that's what you have given us on Kids Talk Live, is they have a voice to say it without feeling any kind of fear or judgment from a parent, because they're in their own space, and there's kids, and they get to say anything, and they know that I am free from judgment. You know, I just sort of let them, unless they're causing harm to themselves or someone else, I want them to spill it, you know, and be a kid, because they don't, as much as we think they have that space, they don't all the time, because their friends sometimes don't even allow them to be completely who they are. You know, I often even hear the kids come in the studio and they'll say, you know, even at school, I'm kind of the outcast because I'm like the actor and everybody does this or does that.
Does social media really play a big part in their lives?
You know, I think it does, but I will say it's different types of social media, because my students, 80% of my students are between the age of 8 and 15. So they're not allowed certain social medias to sort of watch, but it has taught me a lot, you know, about social media and sort of what's going on. And I just, you know, leading into that, I want to talk about GoFundMe, which is something that Richard started for Kids Talk Live.
Kids Talk Live GoFundMe crowdfunding program. All you've got to do is go to GoFundMe or to our Facebook page. The Veterans Talk Live Facebook page is supporting it and promoting it. Cassandra Darden and the Glee Camp folks are also doing that. But go to GoFundMe, type in Kids Talk Live. Hey, donate $5.
Yeah.
All we want to do is get the show on the air, upgrade some mics, get some other cameras in, because we got some big dreams for this Kids Talk Live show.
We do.
You know, to take this to TV. I'm actually talking with a gentleman who has access to several major satellite-based TV networks, and has access to their airwaves. And he looked at one of our pilots from yesterday. Big ups to Michael Carson of See It Clearly, who at least launched his pilot yesterday at 1 p.m. Pacific Tuesdays. That's right, Michael Carson, right? One of his connections looked at that show and said, hey, man, you guys are doing some great stuff over there. I'm like, where do you see Kids Talk Live and what we're going to roll out with that? So we've got some really big plans. So the object of the crowd fund is just to get parents, friends of these young people, relatives, supporters of any type on board. Donate whatever you can. We just want to get that show paid out through the end of the year. Get some microphone manufacturers involved to donate some mics. Get some headphone manufacturers involved to donate some headphones. And what the hey, get some instrument manufacturers on board to donate some instrument to these young people. We already know they're taking arts out of most of the public schools now. Cassandra, you're one of the last bastions of support for the entertainment industry in terms of teaching young people performing arts, acting, the whole nine. This is one of the few programs these young people have that really gives them a great opportunity, a realistic opportunity to go from what you're teaching them to a real job in Hollywood in front of the camera. So Kids Talk Live is going to also be that platform to expose some of these young people, have them perform, because, you know, it's not just about kids getting on here, bumping their gums and talking about gossip. They actually are going to be performing live stuff, live skits that they put together themselves, live stuff that they wrote. So Kids Talk Live is this opportunity for these young people to, you know, to really pursue a career in their dream, and that is to be in the performing arts.
It is. And I don't even know if I shared this with you, but I started a second section of my company, and it's going into nonprofit, and it's called Love Thy Art. And the reason I did that is because there are art forms that, you know, I really focus on acting, dance, and theater. But what I noticed is during Glee Camp, what we do, Paul and I, what we've done is every year we add another element to Glee Camp and see if the kids pick up on it. And we've not failed yet, amazingly. Like we've said, like 1 year, Paul said, let's do, all the older students get to compose something this year. They loved that. Composing their own music, we had no idea that was going to be such a big success. We had another year where we said, well, let's have them write their own scenes. Completely was, whoa, like I found some writers there. So Love Thy Art.
How about that?
Love Thy Art, yeah. It was surprising to us too, but they're really into creating their own stuff, which, let's be honest, this is how you get the Jay-Z's and you get the Eminems and you get people that are not just performers, but they're business people. And that's something that actually also surprised me from my students is having these young women come up to me and go, Miss Cassandra, and I'm like you, I have to not start crying because I'm just thinking I'm their teacher.
Not just me, I'm glad to hear that.
I'm just thinking I'm their teacher. But, to have these girls who are 14 go, Miss Cassandra, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, what is it? I automatically think something's bad. And they say, I just want to tell you that I just am so inspired by you. And I just admire that you're a businesswoman. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, you're an inspirational
You
woman.
are an
Yes, you
inspiration.
really are.
But
you're inspiring to me, Cassandra. Don't get it twisted.
I mean, you don't, when you're an artist, I'm still an artist at my heart, so I don't even, and I'm a businesswoman, but I didn't start it that way. I mean, we talked about that. You're an artist first, and then you say, well, I have to pay my rent and I have to pay my teachers. And you have to get real about that. And what's lovely is that not even by me pushing that, the kids see that. And so to have a platform like Kids Talk Live and to also have a crowdfunding where they get, this funds this. This needs to be paid for. You know what?
This is how this works.
This is how this works.
It's not just the art.
It's not just the
it has
art.
to be part of the business.
There you go.
Yes.
They have to learn the business part, and they get that from having a crowdfunding. They also get, at the end of the day, I'm an artist, but I deserve to be paid for my work. They understand it, and then it doesn't become something that just gets blown off by friends or family. It becomes their passion and their job. Which is, that's what I want them to get it. Like, you can make it. All these people that are telling you, I don't know about that.
One quick question. Is this going to be an hour show, Richard, Cassandra?
For Kids Talk Live, yes.
It's an hour. So it'll be from
Full
1
hour.
to 2.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
We might run over a little bit depending on the crowd.
we always run over.
You never.
That's nothing new around
Right.
here.
I
Exactly.
try to keep it locked down, but we do have some amazing things coming up for Saturday. We have a lot of kids coming to sing. I think I've got 3 kids coming from Pop Rock Academy, which is Paul Quell, my partner, his
Right.
music school.
I was going to ask you if you were still with Paul.
Yes.
Shouts to Paul Quo.
Paul Quell.
What up?
Wow.
Miss
This
you.
is your
Come
through soon.
6th year
This
together.
is, oh my goodness.
Or more.
I think it's our 4th year.
4th year? Okay.
Maybe 4th. Yeah.
Okay.
But even Paul, he is just, it's amazing when you sort of put out a certain energy and this is what I want, which is what I try to teach the kids too, even though they're so young. I'm like, it's okay to be wishy-washy and to not have to make a decision. But when you say, this is what I want, things come to you. People come to you in your sphere and you look up and you're thinking, how did this happen? I met Paul because I put an ad on Craigslist, if you can believe that. Craigslist, of all places. And I posted for a music director on LA Casting and Backstage and all the normal places you would look to find a quality, USC, all these places. And in walks Paul from Craigslist. I'm like, why are you even looking at a Craigslist ad? And he was just amazing. And right off the bat, I knew this is the guy, And so the fact that he came in at the beginning and we started the camp and we talked about all these things.
Now, is he going to be involved in LA Talk Live?
And Kids Talk Live, as
Isn't
much
he
as
always?
he can. He always is.
He's
he's
either
the
going to
one.
pack gear to send
He
up here with the
is.
kids.
He is. We already
Get
talked about
everybody
it.
organized.
Yeah, we already
Hey,
talked
do you
about
need
it.
extra mics, Richard? How many should I
Yeah.
send with us?
I mean,
Whatever.
he's
Yeah,
always
He's
involved.
amazing,
always.
yeah.
He makes sure he always sends the kids that he knows are going to be professional and represent Kids Talk Live, represent Pop Rock, represent Glee. He always makes sure that everything's intact. And it's very rare to meet somebody that has the same sort of aesthetic as I do about
Because you're rough.
about order.
You're tough.
Oh God, I am.
I never perceived that about Cassandra.
Oh, yes, yeah.
because we
am.
see this wonderful, beautiful,
Oh,
bubbly
no, I've
woman.
seen her behind the
Hold on.
scenes.
And then when the young people are here, we see her showered with their adoration
Yeah.
and respect and admiration. And yet, I've not seen that part of her. So
But
maybe
I
we'll-
do.
You
maybe I
haven't
need to come
really
out to
been
one of
to
your
a. You haven't
performances,
been to
yeah.
a performance.
Go
We
check
always
that out one
invited
day.
you, but
I
you
know,
never
could never
came.
make it
But
yet.
I
But
do
yes.
love them. I love them as much as the discipline happens. But
It's tough love. I mean, and
It
you have to because
is.
Cassandra, I think by imparting that to them now will make them so much stronger. You will be
Yeah.
that Juan Kenobi, that Jedi vision in their heads when they go and maybe suffer one of their worst rejections
Yeah.
at a audition, or one of their greatest triumphs. They'll reflect back on those tough times that
Yeah.
you imparted and instilled in them.
And it's happening already.
easy out here
It's not.
in
And
this
I
industry.
want to be honest. I'm in it. So I have to be honest with them. And at the end of the day, if that's your part, that's your part. And if it's not, you just move on to the next and you know exactly who you are. And that's it. And it already is happening. I had an 8-year-old whose mother is an actress. She's a working actress. She's a character actress. You've probably seen her in a million things. And, of course, when her daughter said she wants to do acting, she's like, oh, God. She's nervous about that. But she put her in Glee Camp last year. And Brooke had an audition for a pilot. And she said, Cassandra, it was amazing because it was a friend of a friend or something that had written it. So they knew about Brooke and that she had started acting. And so they invited her to this audition. And she got a call back. She got a second call back. She got a third call back. It came between her and one other girl, and the other girl got it. And she said, what I loved about it is the casting director said she went into her audition and she knew exactly what to do. She smiled. She didn't shake hands. She knew where to stand. And she said, thank you so much. Because even as a parent, that was something.
That's got to be tough to impart to your child, especially if you're from the industry.
Exactly.
It would take a professional like you, a third party, outside the home to be able to really impart to that child what it's really going to take.
Yeah, and she was so grateful for that. And then she said, what I loved about it is when we got the call that they gave it to the other kid, Brooke said, you know what, I'll get it next time.
There you go.
And she said there wasn't a tear, there wasn't a little disappointment, but she said, you know what, Miss Cassandra says I'm going to have this
Thank
opportunity
you.
again.
Thank you. Very good. And who taught her that?
I did.
Thank you.
That's something you start talking about right at the very beginning. I remember when the kids were here.
Yeah,
That was something you really instilled in them.
yeah. It's
It's
important.
just to go for it, and it's the practice.
Yeah, and one thing I say to all of them too is it's also okay if this is something you decide later. I'm not sure that this is for me. What I want to make sure is that you leave this building a confident human being and that you learn self-respect, self-dignity, and learn how to treat other people. Because at the end of the day, how you treat people is really, really valuable and important because that's a reflection of how you treat yourself. And if they don't pursue it, it's okay. Whatever they pursue, they're going to be confident in that. That's what I'm teaching them, So I just hope and pray that is what comes across and that Kids Talk Live helps me sort of foster that. Because without this, honestly, I just really encourage people to go to our GoFundMe for crowdfunding and listen to the
Kids
show.
Talk Live. Go to GoFundMe.
Listen to the show.
$5, $1,
Yeah.
50 cents, doesn't matter. We just want to get this show on the air all year long and bring you some incredible entertainment. Let's
not miss that.
not miss that. Not forget to
Yeah.
let them know that they're not just going to be watching a bunch of kids, like I said, bumping their gums on the mic, chit-chatting about social networking. You're going to see the future of television and film and theater in some of these young people. Where do you think they come from?
Yeah. And they're already a lot of them are already booking jobs. We have one kid that just last year came through our Glee Summer Camp program, and he's on Fresh Off the Boat. He's on a hit television show. He's 7.
Wow.
Yeah, Ian. We have a couple of the kids that are coming on Saturday. One of them has sung at she just recently sang, I think, at a live Clippers game. These kids are really pushing it. They're working. Valdi and Stacy. Valdi just booked her first.
Think it's
Valdi's
Valdi
still
and
with
Stacey,
you?
yep.
Yes.
Saw
Oh
her
my
on
God,
TV.
I was going to
Elena?
ask.
Yeah.
Did
Saw her
you?
Valdi on a TV show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She was
Yeah.
one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Remember, I always asked about her.
Yeah, Valdi and Stacy. Valdi just booked her first feature films. Stacy is one of the voices on Family Guy. She's the French girl.
Are you serious?
Yep, she's the French girl on Family
That's
Guy.
huge.
Yep, and she also just booked a national Toyota commercial. I mean, she's doing amazing. And their little sister, who I don't know if you've ever even met, Bella.
That was the little itty bitty baby.
Bella's going to be 6 in July, and
Wow.
Bella just started taking classes with me because I started at 5, which was a push because 5. Whoa.
Wow.
But I extended to 5, and Bella has a national print campaign right now. I mean, these girls
nice.
are working.
Wow.
Now, can I take a moment, because we've only got a few minutes left.
Sure.
We're going to take it to the quarter and get out of here. I hope it's okay. I want to talk about the mother
Okay.
Valdi, Stacy, and Bella.
Okay.
Who, in fact, comes from a somewhat, not so privileged situation.
Yes.
And I know you brought them into your school and mentored them both professionally and personally. But I think what's more important, this is what I realized. It's like, wow, though underprivileged in her past, she's going to be a very wealthy Hollywood mom in the
Absolutely.
future, because you've got 3 beautiful young daughters who are graduating up through the ranks of entertainment.
They really are.
So, wow. I just
And-
wanted to point that
Yeah,
out, because her
I'm-
mom hung in there with them for a long
I'm
time,
grateful
too.
for you
Yeah.
saying that, because Agar is such a spirit. And, I don't know if you know this about her either, but she's going to school. She's going to be graduating, I think, in July, or she decided, you know what, I got to be here for my girls. And as soon as Bella was in school full time, she's like, I'm going to school. So she's, trying to do the best for her girls as well as herself and be a good example for those girls. And any way that I can help her, I can, because I know she's a single parent. And I mean, there's been times where, like, when Valdi had to go to Florida to shoot the movie. And so her mother came out from Boston to stay with the girls. But of course, the other 2 girls, Stacy and Bella, Stacy burst into tears at the thought that she could not come to dance class. She was
Wow.
like, what am I going to do? And, I start pretty early and her classes start later. And of course, my husband says, I'll go get her. So, for 3 weeks or as long as she was gone, we were carpooling Stacy and Bella to class because, she couldn't miss it. And I feel like that's really important, not to disrupt their lifestyle. It's
Absolutely.
their lifestyle too.
Yeah.
They have things that they love to do and that fills them and makes them who they are. And I'm excited for you guys to see them because they are huge.
Oh, my God.
I can't
really?
even imagine how big
They're
they are now.
big. They're
to watch
so humble
Are
and
they coming?
sweet.
Are they coming?
Of course. They're so sweet. And that's the thing that comes from their mother. They're so humble and so sweet and so gracious about every moment they have to do what they love to do. And it's in them.
And when I first met them, I thought that was only because they were just little girls. But that has persisted throughout the
yes.
years. And we're talking now, what are they, 12?
Okay, so Valdi is 13.
Wow.
I know. And
Can you imagine
Stacey's
that? And
12.
listen, Elena, we're talking, these are
Yeah,
little girls,
I know,
8, 9 years
yeah.
old.
See,
Oh
now
my
you're
God.
experiencing
Sitting
what I
at the
experienced.
table.
Now you're
God, I wish
experiencing what
I could come this
Yeah.
Saturday, but I won't be able to.
Yeah.
Well, you'll
make
be able
it.
to make it. Just turn on your computer.
I
or
will.
your
That's what I
smartphone.
just said. I'll
Yeah.
be able to watch it
Just
on.
tune in any way you
Yeah,
can.
they're 12 and 13.
Yeah, I
they're
will turn in.
tall.
Amazing.
They're beautiful. They are unbelievably. They're growing.
They're tall now?
They're tall. They're growing, and they're growing as young women. And it's really cool to see, and they're growing as performers, and they're just getting more confident. And I feel just so lucky because I get to be a mama too, and see all of this wonderful stuff. And I'm so proud of their mother for sticking by them. And, everybody
she
doesn't
coming
have
on
that.
Saturday?
Oh, of course, she's
they can.
coming. Of course.
So you get to sit here in the big seat.
Yay.
So Valdi, Stacy, and Bella will be here?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see them again.
And I have some other youngsters. I have another one who is 7 who definitely is going to make me a very famous ballet teacher. Her name is Gianna, and her older sister, Sydney. She's a little spitfire, too. She's coming, but she's kind of a quiet one. So I said, listen, if you're going to be on the show, you got to talk. So we're going to see Miss Gianna. You're going to meet her on Saturday at 1 p.m. Don't forget, Kids
1
Talk
p.m.
Live.
1 p.m. in the new time slot. Listen, let's set it up for Saturday. How many young people are you going to be bringing with you this time?
Okay, I have to think.
Well, just give us a general
I
number.
think I have 8.
Wow, okay.
Coming
Oh,
on
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, this room's gonna
Yes.
be rocking.
Well,
Yes.
not just that, count the parents too, Elena.
Yes.
Because the parents
That's
always
what I'm
come.
saying. This
Yep.
room is gonna be
That's
rocking.
fine. That's
We'll
fine.
pull every chair out we can.
We got benches. We've learned how to
We
bring
got-
the benches from the hallways
Are you
outside.
gonna bring your stair? You had those little stools.
Yes,
still
I
have
always
them?
have those just in case.
I
Good.
love those little.
Yeah, because we can
stools.
fit more in with
With
the stools.
because
Sure.
there's no arm room.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's going to be some live performances.
Yes, there's tons. We have
Very nice.
3 solo live performances that are happening. And then we also have a group number. And it's a mixture of musical theater and pop music, which I always love. Paul and I try to sneak that in there so they can learn that. And I'm I'm a Broadway girl, so I got to sneak it in there. And then, of course, some of the commercials that the kids wrote. And we have some monologues because one of the numbers we're doing is not cell block tango, but spell block tango, as in casting spells. It's the view of the villains from Disney and their monologues, and it goes into their vocal performance of Cell Block Tango. So it's going to be fun.
I bet it will be.
It's always fun with you and the kids.
I just got to ask before we go, Cassandra, something you almost never do in all the years you've been coming here, and like I said, we're talking 3 years at least.
More.
Never talk much about your background, and I always brag and boast about you
Okay.
when we talk about Kids Talk Live and who you are and how you put it together, Summer Glee Camp. That picture outside, you cannot imagine how many times I picked that up and put it in people's face. Like, you see this? This is something we do for young people here, Kids Talk Live.
I love it.
A little bit about your background, though, because you never really talk much about that. And you are a Broadway girl.
Yeah.
Tell them who you are.
You know, I started out, just in a random, I went to a private school and I started out with this little kind of like Monsignor Coats and Kids. It was this little performing company and at my little Catholic school, and they auditioned all these kids, and I had really loved to dance and sing around and do things like that, but I never was formally trained at that point. And I went to this audition and like got in with 2 other girls. There was only 3 and the Monsignor, and there were like 150 kids that auditioned. And so my mom's like, wow, she really is like got something here. So, she put me in classes. Cut to, I went to a performing arts high school, ended up going to Arizona State, and that's where I got my training. And through that, I studied at Alvin Ailey in high school. And I had an uncle.
See, I never knew.
Yeah.
I knew you danced. I knew you did Broadway.
Yeah.
I never knew you were an Alvin
I'm an
dancer.
Ailey girl.
I'm such a big fan of them.
I started with them when I was 16. And went subsequent summers and, took the apprenticeship program and danced with them. And then, stayed in New York and danced with a couple of modern dance companies. And then, I really always loved to sing. I was a church singer girl.
And you sing too?
Yeah.
How do we not know that?
I don't
Elena?
know.
Did you know that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think
you
you,
didn't
just
know that.
didn't listen. Maybe you were busy working the
Working the
Really?
boards, yeah.
and
I didn't know that you didn't know that.
Didn't put it all together.
Yeah, and
no,
that-
she's always talked
And
about
that came, and that's a story that I tell the kids, because especially when they come in, and really, Paul and I are really a triple threat program. That's what he does. That's what I do. We really push that triple threat element, because the bottom line is we're in LA. You got to be able to do it all. And
If you want to keep working.
If you want to keep working. And my whole point to the kids is that, I want you to be so good and great in these elements that I don't want them to know if you're a better dancer than you are a singer. I want them to think singing is your thing. And I got into it because, literally, I was doing some show, I think it was maybe Guys and Dolls, and the music director stopped and said, "Who was that?" And we were all kind of looking behind us, and he started the music again, and he's like, "Cassandra, come here. You can sing." And I was like, really? And I had always sang in church, but not really felt confident to be a soloist or anything like that. And he's like, I'm going to give you some parts here. And I said, okay. And went through the show, got a little extra money. And I thought to myself, well, how much is it more do I get paid if I'm like the star of the show? And boy, that was a big jump in pay. So I said, well, let me get a vocal coach and really do this. Let me get an acting coach and really do this. And what a difference in my Broadway career. It was amazing.
A little bit about your Broadway career.
Yeah.
Come on. Give us a little something.
Okay, I did really weird shows like Eating Raoul, a chorus line that I'm giving my age away right now. Cats. These are old Broadway shows, Guys and Dolls, all of that. And then, of course, Dance with Ailey, Dance with the Lamone Company. I had a blast. It was great. I toured, I did Rent, it was amazing. And of course, when I got married on a Wednesday, had my honeymoon till Sunday, and then I went back on the road, and I was grateful to meet a guy that was completely supportive of my career.
And he still is?
Yeah, he is. He is. I continued to perform for a year on the road, and then I was like, oh, I'm married. I want to see my husband, so I tried to find a way to still have my career and sort of stay home. And, LA was an awesome place, and I did soap operas for a while. I don't know if you knew that. I did Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, City of Angels.
I remember a little bit about that, but
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued by the singing because you must have only mentioned it once.
Really?
I must have tuned out just briefly with the kids.
Sometimes when
Yeah.
you were doing the boards, it was so busy because
Yeah,
we're putting up
but
mics and moving.
You
Yeah,
could have only mentioned that once because
Wow.
I never knew that you were a singer as well. So now I
Yeah.
gotta challenge you a little bit.
Oh my God.
I won't put you on the spot today. Maybe Saturday.
Maybe
Saturday.
All
Give her
right.
a
I'll think
chance.
Are
about
you
it.
serious? All this time you've been coming
Yeah.
in, we never had you bless the mic.
No.
Oh, I'm so heartbroken
No. Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
confused. All right, we'll get that out of you.
All right.
We
We'll
got
bring it
something to
back.
look forward to.
I sure do.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
always have fun with the Kids Talk Live show. I mean, in past Sundays, your last season that you were here was probably one of the first times in my life that I could actually take off, spend some time with my kid at home with my
Yes.
girl on the weekends. So I had
yay.
got a chance to have some time off. This time around, I'm recommitted because we got this big push going. Of course, Kids Talk Live, several new shows. So I'm back on Sundays
Okay.
and Saturdays now. So I'll be here. But I'm definitely going to put you on the spot and get you
Oh, my
to.
God.
Good.
at
The
least-
kids the kids will love that
Yeah,
because
the
Oh
kids
they
my
love
God,
it
are
when
you
they're
serious?
always
they're always begging me to do it.
Just like
Paul,
I'm begging you to come on the mic.
they're always begging me, and Paul, like, I was like, oh, we did a 4th of July event last year and Paul sang one of his original songs and I was like, gosh, darn it. Now that means I have to sing. But the kids hear me singing when I'm coaching them, but they've never,
Or do you do a whole song?
no, or even part of it. Like, in class.
Or you dance and sing at the same
Yeah,
time?
that's what you got to do to be a Broadway star, man. You gotta pull all the stops.
If not this Saturday,
Maybe
because
next
it's going to be bi-weekly, we're going to start the show out. I'm going to get you on the spot.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm so going to get you. I can't wait.
Oh my
Man.
God.
Oh, you guys
Yeah. You're
got
gonna
something
have to
to look
belt it out,
forward
too.
to.
Oh,
She's
man.
really good. I've seen her perform. I have. I've been to a lot of her performances.
All
Yeah.
right. So before we wrap it out, let's give them all the details once again
Okay.
from the top.
Kids Talk Live
Back
on
again.
LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. Saturdays at 1 p.m. We're going to start out bi-weekly. Saturdays at 1 p.m. Our first comeback show is this Saturday, April 4th. Please also remember GoFundMe for Kids Talk Live. You can find it on our Facebook page. You can also go to LA Talk Live. All the
Which
information's
Facebook
there.
page?
Well, we have a
Yours,
Facebook page for
ours,
Kids Talk Live.
yes.
Okay.
For LA
Okay.
Kids Talk Live. So everything's there. Darden Performing Arts. If you
Spell
Google
Darden because it's spelled different.
DAURDEN, Darden Performing Arts, or DPAC, if you can remember that, Darden Performing Arts. They type in dpacla.com, they'll find everything. If they Google my name, they'll find everything. So,
Easy to find.
Yeah, I mean, check out all your social media because we're all over the place. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, and all that GoFundMe information is there for the launch of this Saturday, April 4th. Kids Talk Live, we're back. We're excited.
I'm so happy for that, man.
excited.
That's going to be one of the best shows, I tell you, this year on LA Talk Live. I'm going to predict Kids Talk Live is going to take us over the top and truly take us viral.
Yes.
Hey, folks, go support the GoFundMe. After this first return show this Saturday, I promise you, you're going to want to go to GoFundMe, look up Kids Talk Live, and support this show to keep it on a weekly basis. You're going to have a lot of fun. And also for your young people out there, for your kids, you ain't got to sit them in front of the TV at noon on Saturdays coming in the future. You'll be able to have them tune in right to LA Talk Live for family-safe, family-friendly, kid-safe programming. And this is going to inspire some of your young people to want to seek out their goals and aspirations to be performing artists as well. And maybe we'll even have them come and join
Yes.
our studio audience on a Kids Talk Live
Yes.
show. Chef Bryce Fluellen's going to be joining us as well. He's going to be teaching kids how to take care of that body, that temple that they own that's going to take them on to higher levels of, fame and fortune once they get into the film or performance industry. You want to take care of yourself, so we're going to have Chef Bryce Fluellen come in to talk about how to prepare food properly, how to live a longer, healthier life as a young person, moving into your maturity as a performer. All that good stuff, all going down Saturdays, 1 p.m. Kids Talk Live is back this Saturday, April 4th. Be sure to tune in. Do not miss it. And we are completely mobile now, Cassandra, meaning that every phone, even my cheap little $40 a month Metro PCS phone from 3 years ago, can pick up the show, watch and listen right on your mobile device, right on your tablet. And if you got a brand new 2015 and above, you can pull us right into your dashboard through TuneIn, AHA Radio, and Live 365, I believe, as well. So,
Yeah,
that's all the
fantastic.
deets.
Thank you.
All right,
And
thank you
you,
for
Elena.
coming back. It's
yeah,
so
I was
good
one
to
of
see
the
you,
ones
Elena.
that I
girl.
actually
I know.
started excited. The
I know.
LA Talk Live was actually, I think, my idea because I wanted to continue after Glee summer camp.
Yeah.
I
Not
wanted
LA
to-
Talk Live was your idea.
No, Kids Talk
Kids
Live.
Talk Live.
Actually, Kids Talk Live was something I thought about at the house.
Okay.
It was one of the first things I came up with as a show to spotlight young people and to introduce them into broadcast.
Yes.
And I I shared these
Yeah.
ideas with people.
Yeah.
And you were the reason Kids Talk Live started because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
You brought Cassandra here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was introduced through your
Thank
show.
you.
And that's how it really all began, for sure. So thank
That
you,
makes
Elena,
more
for that.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right, you take us out.
All right, so again, folks, an extended version of Elena's Beauty Talk and More here this Wednesday. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday for an all-new show at noon Pacific Standard Time, but also tune in this Saturday, April 4th, 1 p.m. Pacific, for the return of Kids Talk Live. I'm looking forward to it.
Me
It's
too.
all going down. Cassandra Darden, Richard Carr,
Thank
Van Eric
you.
Marshall. Elena will be tuning in.
Yes.
Be sure to be there. We'll see you then.
Okay.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.